I straightened the creases in my dark gray suit, smoothing out the faint wrinkles. It was the kind of outfit I always thought suited family dinners. Not too formal to make Sarah roll her eyes, but sharp enough to avoid looking careless. At 70, I had long given up on chasing trends, but I still liked to look put together. Tom said dinner would start at 6:30. I had an hour to spare. I glanced around my living room. Every object held a memory. A photo of Margaret and me at our 50th anniversary. Young Tom with his fishing pole, grinning over his first catch. Nate and Lily at their high school graduation. These pictures stood as quiet reminders of a time when life felt simpler. My eyes lingered on Margaret's photo. What would she do now 15 years had passed since she left this world? Yet I still turned to her in my mind. George, don't let them walk all over you. She'd say. Margaret always knew how to draw a line, even with our own son. Me, I struggled with that. The phone buzzed on the coffee table. A text from Tom. I smiled, reaching for my glasses. Expecting details about tonight, maybe he was offering to pick me up for their new place, though he hadn't done that in years. Dad, sorry, but we can't do dinner tonight. Sarah's hosting a work event. We'll reschedule soon. I read it again. Something felt off. Tom had called yesterday, insisting I come, talking up some big news. I checked the message once more. Then my phone buzzed again. You're not welcome at dinner. My wife doesn't want you there. My hand shook. My chest tightened, like cold fingers were squeezing my heart. It couldn't be Tom. Not my son. But it was his number. His name. I sank into the armchair, gripping the phone, as if letting go would sever my tie to reality. Memories flooded in. Little Tom tugging at my coat on his first day of school. Teenage Tom shyly asking for dating tips. Grown-up Tom introducing Sarah to me, his face glowing with pride. Now this text. Cold, distant, cutting. Was it a snap decision? Or the first time they'd been blunt about it? How often had they talked about me behind my back? How many smiles were forced? How many invites were just obligation? My gaze fell on a pamphlet on the table. A shiny ad for the Willow Creek Estates townhomes. Their new place. A 3-story home overlooking the river. With a private dock? I'd put down $140,000 for it 8 months ago. Dad, it's for our future, Tom had said. A place for family to gather. You'll have your own space, too. My space? I gave a bitter chuckle. That space had vanished. I recalled the day at the bank with Tom. The manager raised an eyebrow as I signed the papers. Are you sure, Mr. Harris? It's a hefty amount. I was sure. Margaret left me enough to help our son. It felt right. Other expenses followed. A new SUV for Tom. Safer for the kids. Private school for Nate. He needed extra support for learning. A kitchen renovation Sarah dreamed of. She works hard. She deserves it. Each time, I wrote a check. Each time, didn't I? It felt like the right thing. What did I get back? Rare calls. Stiff holiday visits. And now this text. I stood slowly. Walked to the oak desk I'd inherited from my father. Opened the top drawer, where I kept my financial records. Neat folders of receipts, bank statements, canceled checks. The one labeled Tom was thickest. I flipped through it. A check for $22,000 to fund a business Tom dropped after 5 months. Receipts for Sarah's professional courses. Bills for their old home's HVAC repair. Nate's car insurance. How much had I spent over the years? How many times had I stepped in to help? For what to be shut out of a home I'd funded. The phone buzzed again. I flinched. But it was Lily, my granddaughter. Grandpa, you coming tonight? I miss you. My fingers hovered over the keys. Lily was different. Genuine. Thoughtful. Even when her parents and brother forgot me, she'd call, Visit. Check on me, I typed slowly. Sweetheart, looks like your folks think it's best I stay home. I sent it. Seconds later. Her reply. What, why Dad said you had to come? So Lily didn't know? I pictured her in that new house. Confused. A house I'd paid for. My eyes returned to the folder. I'd thought I was earning their love, their respect, but I'd only been renting their attention, and the lease was up. I grabbed my phone, dialed the bank. After a few rings, a calm voice answered. Good evening. Riverside Community Bank. How can I assist you? Good evening. I'm George Harris. I need to review some automatic payments on my account. Of course. Mr. Harris, I'll need a few details to verify your identity. As I answered her questions, a plan took shape. Sharp, unyielding. Just thank you. Mr. Harris, what can I do for you? I want to stop all automatic payments and transfers from my accounts. Everyone. A pause. All payments. Sir, you have several active ones. Yes. Every single one. And I need to revoke the power of attorney I gave my son, Tom Harris. I see. Her voice held a hint of surprise. This is a significant change. Mr. Harris, would you prefer to visit the branch to discuss? I'll come in tomorrow to sign everything. I cut in, but I want the process started now. Can you do that? A brief silence. We can suspend all payments temporarily until you visit, but we'll need your signature for a permanent stop. Perfect. Suspend them now. As she typed, I glanced at Margaret's photo. You were right. Love. Can't let them take advantage, even if they're family. Done. Mr. Harris, suspension is active. You have... She paused. 165 regular payments and transfers. All are blocked until you visit. 65. I hadn't realized there were so many. 165 ways I'd propped up my son's family. Thank you. I'll be there when you open. I hung up. A strange relief washed over me. Like a heavy load I'd carried for years had finally slipped off. The phone buzzed. Tom. Lily must have said something. I ignored it. Instead, I typed a reply. Pay your own way, freeloaders. My thumb hovered over send. Was I ready to close this chapter, to shatter the fragile setup I'd funded with my patience and money? But hadn't they already broken it? By denying me basic respect? By deciding I wasn't needed, not even in the house I'd paid for? I hit send, turned off the phone. In the quiet of my living room, a calm settled over me. For the first time in years, I'd acted for myself, not for Tom or his family, and it felt freeing. I walked to the bookshelf, pulled out an old photo album, flipped through pages of my life. My wedding to Margaret, Tom's birth, family trips. I saw where I'd lost myself, dissolved into their needs, ignoring my own wants, my dignity. Margaret always said, George, don't let anyone take you for granted. On her deathbed, she made me promise to care for myself as much as I did for others. I hadn't kept that promise, until now. I shut the album, put it back, took off my suit and slipped into comfortable clothes. I brewed tea, grabbed a book I'd meant to read for ages, always delayed by family demands. Tomorrow would be new. A chapter free of financial chains tying me to people who didn't value me. 165 receipts, 165 reasons to move forward. I sipped my tea, opened the book, relishing the silence. The freedom to choose. My phone stayed off. My heart, for once, beat steady and calm. Riverside Community Bank opened at 8:30. I arrived 15 minutes early. I'd slept soundly for the first time in years. No pills needed. Resolve gave me strength. I was the first customer. The teller smiled warmly. Good morning. Can I help you? I need to see Mrs. Carter, I said. Ellen Carter had been at the bank for over 30 years. She'd handled our accounts since Margaret and I were young. Minutes later, I sat in Ellen's office. She looked much the same. Neat silver hair, kind eyes behind slim glasses. George, it's good to see you. She shook my hand. I heard about your call last night. All 165 payments are suspended as requested. Is everything okay? I met her gaze. I want to cancel them all permanently. And cut Tom's access to my accounts. Ellen cleaned her glasses with a cloth. A habit when she was mulling something over. George, we've known each other forever. Are you certain it's a big step? Absolutely certain. She nodded. Began typing. Fine. I'll prepare the documents. It'll take a bit. You've got many payments. As the system worked, Ellen handed me a thick folder. These are your transactions from the past year. Might help to review them. I opened it. Pages of statements. Each line was money leaving my pocket, entering theirs. First was the mortgage payment for Tom and Sarah's new house. $4,000 a month? I recalled Tom showing me the place. Dad, it's perfect for us. And you'll have a guest suite downstairs. No stairs to climb. A suite I'd never used. They wouldn't allow it. Next, insurance for Sarah's SUV. She needed it for high-end clients. $900 every 3 months. I kept turning pages. A country club membership for Sarah's networking. Bills for Nate's orthodontist. Special needs. They said, Lily's college tuition. The only expense I didn't resent. Each receipt sparked a memory, a plea, a promise. Dad, we're strapped right now. Grandpa, it's the newest model. I'll be an outcast without it. George, you don't want Nate feeling inferior, do you? Receipt after receipt. A map of my trust and their greed. Here's the paperwork to cancel everything. Ellen's voice pulled me back. And the power of attorney revocation. Read carefully and sign if you agree. I signed without pause. George, Ellen softened her tone. If you need help or advice, I'm okay. Ellen. I smiled. For the first time in years, I really am. Leaving the bank. I felt unburdened, like I'd shed a weight that had dragged me down for decades. My next stop was my lawyer's office. Henry Brooks had worked with us since Margaret was alive. His hair was grayer, glasses thicker, but his sharp wit hadn't dulled. Mr. Harris, good to see you. He gestured to a chair. What's up? I want to revise my will, I said firmly, and set up a trust to protect my assets. Henry raised an eyebrow. What's behind this? Family dynamics have shifted. I kept it brief. I need to manage my money safely, without interference from Tom or his family. He nodded. No more questions. We've got options. Let's go through them. We spent an hour on irrevocable trusts, financial power of attorney, will provisions. Henry explained legal details. I felt liberated making these choices. When we wrapped up, my phone showed 20 missed calls from Tom, 9 from Sarah, 5 from Nate, none from Lily. Papers ready by week's end, Henry asked. Walking me out? Sooner if possible. I said. And Henry, thanks. He smiled. You know, Margaret always said you had a quiet strength. Glad it's showing. I left with a faint smile. Margaret saw through me. At the grocery store. I bought food just for me. No thought to Tom's tastes or Nate's snacks. It felt odd. But good. At home. A surprise waited. Lily sat on the porch, knees hugged to her chest. She sprang up when she saw my car, Grandpa. She grabbed my bags. I've been calling all day. Why no answer? I studied her. Lily looked like me at her age. Same dark hair. Same worried crease between her brows. Busy day, sweetheart? I unlocked the door. Come in. Tell me what's up. In the kitchen, Lily sat at the table, fidgeting as I put away groceries. Grandpa, what's happening? Dad's freaking out. Says you blocked all payments and won't pick up. I set the kettle on. It's true. I've stopped funding your family. But why her voice held real confusion? Did something happen? I poured water into the kettle, waited before answering. Your dad uninvited me to dinner last night. Said your mom didn't want me there. Lily paled. No way. Dad said all week you had to come. I showed her the text. She gasped, hand over mouth. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I swear. Tears welled in her eyes. That's horrible. Grandpa, how could he? I set tea before her. It was the final straw. Lily, for years, I've covered everything. Your house, Nate's lessons, all of it. And I felt used. That text proved it. Lily stared at her cup. Silent. Then looked up. I've seen it, you know. How they take advantage of you. Especially Mom. I tried telling Dad. He always backed her. I nodded. I knew Lily saw more than she let on. What now? She asked softly. They've got loans, bills. They'll manage. I shrugged. They're adults. Tom's an inspector. Your mom's a top realtor. They'll be fine. The phone rang. Tom. I silenced it. Not answering, Lily asked. Not today. I need time to think. He needs time to face what he did. Lily studied me. You know, Grandpa, I've never seen you this firm. I gave a small smile. Haven't felt this way in years. We sipped tea in warm silence. As Lily left, she hugged me tightly. You okay? Want me to stay? I'm fine. Dear, I patted her cheek. Don't worry about me. She paused at the door. I'm not picking sides. Grandpa, you get that. Right. Of course. I smiled. This is between me and your parents, not you. After she left, the house was quiet. I checked the mail. A notice about a declined charge on Nate's card. Already he must have maxed it out. I sat by the window, phone buzzing with calls and texts. I ignored them, pulled out a photo album, opened to a random page. A photo from 18 years ago. Me and Margaret, young Tom and Sarah, little Nate and Lily at a picnic. All smiling. When did it change? When did help become duty? When did love turn into expecting handouts? I closed the album. Stood before the hall mirror. The man staring back looked weary, but his eyes held a new resolve. Time to be George Harris again, I said to my reflection. The doorbell broke my thoughts. My heart skipped. Tom, I peeked through the peephole. Clara Bennett, my old friend holding a basket. George. She hugged me as I opened the door. I called, but no answer. Wanted to check on you. Come in. Clara, I'm sorry. Phone's off. Family issue. Clara set the basket down. Fresh muffins, peach jam, family trouble. She eyed me. Sarah again. Clara never liked my daughter-in-law. Leech, she'd called her. Tom this time. I shared the text and my decision. Clara listened quietly. When I finished, she squeezed my hand. About time, she said. I'm sorry, George, but they've used you for years. Especially Sarah. I know. I sighed. You were right, and I didn't want to see it. What's next? Clara asked. Pouring tea. Tom's probably losing it. Let him. I need to sort my feelings. They need to see what they've lost. We talked into the evening. I felt like a man again. Not just a dad or granddad, just George. It was freeing. As Clara left, dusk had fallen. I checked my phone. 38 missed calls, 22 texts. I scanned them. The tone grew desperate. Dad, why's the mortgage failing, George? It's Sarah. Urgent. We need to talk. Grandpa, my card's blocked. I'm stranded. Tom's latest text. 10 minutes ago. Dad, I'm coming over. We need to talk. My body tensed. Was I ready? But there was no dodging it. I dimmed the living room lights, went to the kitchen, started the kettle, took out my favorite mug, reserved for special days. Today was special. The day George Harris said no, a car pulled up. I glanced out. Tom alone? No Sarah. Odd. She usually led the big talks. The doorbell rang, like a starting bell for a fight. I took a deep breath, straightened my shoulders, opened the door. Tom stood there, looking out of place. His shirt rumpled, eyes a mix of frustration and panic. I stepped aside silently. Dad, what's happening? He skipped pleasantries. Payments are bouncing. The bank says you cut all access. We can't cover the mortgage. I walked to the kitchen, kettle steaming. Tea I offered. Taking another mug. Tea. Tom waved his hands. Do you get what's going on? The bank's on us about late payments. Sarah's a wreck. I poured hot water into the teapot. Turned to him, and I understand. I've stopped all financial support, all 165 payments. I won't restart them. Tom froze, like he couldn't process it. What? Why, he slumped into a chair, staring at me. Is this a prank? You weren't invited to dinner. My wife doesn't want you there. I repeated his text, watching his face. That was from you. Tom? No prank. My response wasn't either. He paled, dropped his head. That it's not what you think. What should I think? That my son barred me from a house I paid for, that my daughter-in-law doesn't want me there despite funding her life. I set tea before him. He ignored it. Dad, it was dumb. I shouldn't have sent it. Sarah was stressed, and you chose to please her by insulting me. I finished. That's kind, Tom. Dad, please, his voice begged. We can't manage without you. Mortgage, loans, Nate's college. I sipped my tea. Anger I'd buried for years surfaced. Cold and clear. Didn't you consider that when you disrespected me, when Sarah mocked my clothes, when Nate forgot my birthdays, when you didn't call on Margaret's death anniversary? Tom looked guilty, but a spark of annoyance showed. He was a poor liar. Dad, we value all you do. Really, it's just... He fumbled for words. Misunderstandings happen. We love you, even Sarah. Though she doesn't show it well. I looked at my son, a grown man, father of 2, looking like a kid caught sneaking candy. Tom, I don't buy it, I said quietly. You don't love me. You love my money, my fixes, not me. That's not true. He stood. How can you say that? Because it is. I stayed calm. When did you last ask how I felt about my life? Invite me over just because? Tom opened his mouth. Closed it, I went on. Your mom said you can't buy love. I didn't listen. Thought generosity would earn your respect. I was wrong. Dad? Tom stepped closer. I know you're mad. Let Sarah and me come over this weekend. Talk calmly. No? I shook my head. My decision's final. But the house... His voice cracked. The car's Nate's tuition. You've got a solid job. Tom, so does Sarah. You're adults. Figure it out. He clenched his fists, anger flaring. You can't do this. After all you've what I stood. What have you done for me? Tom, name one selfless thing. Silence. He searched for an answer. His quiet spoke louder than words. See, I sighed. You can't think of one. It's unfair. He stepped back. You're humiliating me. Humiliating, I smiled thinly. How's it feel to be shut out of a family dinner, a house you paid for? Tom ran a hand through his hair, a nervous habit from his teens. It was a mistake. Dad, I apologized. What more do you want, Neil? Leave, I said. I need time. When I'm ready to talk, I'll call, but, Dad, go, Tom. My voice was soft but firm. Please, he stared, disbelieving I'd make him leave. Then turned. Walked out. The door slammed. His car roared away. I sat, let out a breath. My hands shook. Facing Tom was tougher than I'd thought. Part of me wanted to chase him. Say I'd fix it. Keep him happy. But I didn't. I finished my tea. Washed the mugs. Kept my hands busy to still my mind. The phone rang. Sarah. I declined. A text followed. George, we must talk. Tom told me the huge misunderstanding. I smirked. Like adults. Sarah loved that line. Used it to feel superior. I didn't reply. Morning brought Henry Brooks, my lawyer, with papers for the new will and trust, all set. George, he spread them out. As discussed, most assets go into a trust. You're the sole beneficiary while alive. After, they're split per your wishes. 50% to Lily, 15% to a veterans charity. The rest as you choose. I reviewed them. Tom and Nate got the legal minimum. Sarah got nothing. Looks right. I signed each page. Henry smiled faintly. In 40 years, I've rarely seen such bold changes. People usually waver. I've wavered enough. I signed the last. Henry nodded. I'll file these today. Copies in a week. And George, if family trouble escalates, I'm here. After Henry left, I walked. The day was crisp. Air cleared my head. I went to the park where Margaret and I spent weekends, sat on a bench, watched families play. A young dad helped his daughter fly a kite, laughing as it dipped. I remembered doing that with Tom. Where did that joy go? My phone rang. Nate's number. I hesitated. Answered, Grandpa. His voice was tight. Is it true you cut all payments? Hey, Nate. I kept calm. Yes, it's true. Why? He sounded confused. What happened your dad didn't say? He mumbled about a fight, you being upset over a text. Nate rushed on. Grandpa, my card's blocked. I can't pay rent. I sighed. Nate cut to the chase. Always about him. You're 22, Nate. Working in insurance? Why rely on me, Will? He paused. You've always helped. I'm used to it. Exactly. You all are. Took my help for granted. Never cared how I felt when your dad said I wasn't welcome in the house I paid for. Quiet on his end. Did he really say that Nate asked? Disbelief in his tone? Yes. It was the breaking point. I've funded your house, cars, school, even your gym. What did I get? Disrespect, neglect, holiday drop-ins. Grandpa, he faltered. I didn't know you felt like that. You never asked, I said plainly. You took without thinking of me. Silence. Then softly, what now? You handle it. Like adults do. But Grandpa. I cut him off. Think about how you've treated me. I hung up. Sat watching the park. Talking to Nate left me sad. Relieved. Sad our bond was so thin. Relieved I'd spoken truth. I read that evening. A book long neglected. Before bed. I checked my phone. More missed calls from Tom. Sarah. A text from Lily. Grandpa, our house is chaos. Mom and Dad are fighting. Nate's panicking about money. You okay? Can I visit tomorrow? I replied, yes, sweetheart, I'd love that. I'm fine. Morning brought a shock. Sarah at my door. Dressed to impress. Hair perfect. Holding a box of pastries from a fancy bakery. George, good morning. She offered the box. Can we talk? I let her in. Curious about her tactic, Sarah swept into the living room, giving me that appraising look that chilled me. George, She perched on the couch, hands clasped. I think there's a big misunderstanding. Really, I sat opposite. No offer of tea. Tom shouldn't have sent that text. She shook her head. Looked sorry. It was a rash move. We were stressed. Work. The dinner. Sarah. I cut in. Let's not play games. You're here for the money. Her smile flickered, then steadied. George, that's unfair. I'm sorry for what happened. We value you. So valued I wasn't wanted at your table, I said evenly. Sarah sighed. Like explaining to a child, it was a work event. Big clients, I needed it perfect, and I'd ruin it. I raised an eyebrow. How my old suit? Wrong small talk, that's not it. She pursed her lips. George, we've always had a tricky relationship, but that's no reason to hurt everyone. Tom's desperate. Nate can't pay bills. We might lose the house. The house I paid for, I reminded her. Which you helped with? She corrected. We contributed too. I looked at this woman, poised, confident, used to winning. 20 years in my family. Never a real bond. Sarah. I leaned forward. I'm done funding your life. House, cars, Nate's school, nothing. It's over. Her face hardened. The polite mask fell. You can't do this. Her voice sharpened. After all all you've what I asked. Curious. What have you done for me? She stumbled. Included you. Let you see your grandkids. Cared for you. Cared, I laughed bitterly. When did you last call just to chat, not to ask for cash? Sarah stood, pale with fury. You'll regret this. George, we're your only family. Who'll care for you when you're too frail? I'll care for myself. I stood too. Like I did before I poured my life into your family. She stormed to the door. Stopped. This isn't over. Tom won't let it go. You're his dad. He has rights. Rights to what? My money. I shook my head. Leave. Don't return until you learn respect. Sarah left. I felt hollow, like a long play had ended. I went to the window. The day was bright. Neighbors gardened. Kids biked. Mail arrived. Unpaid bills sat on the table. Once, I'd have rushed to fix them. Scared of letting my family down. Now I could pay them on my terms. Buy a new suit. Take that woodworking class I'd eyed. For the first time, I was free. Free from duty, guilt, the need to sacrifice for others. I called Clara. Remember that fishing trip next month, I said when she picked up? I'm in if the offer stands. George. Her voice lit up. Of course, thought you couldn't because of... I can now... I smiled. No obligations holding me back. After, I grabbed a notebook, listed dreams I'd shelved, places to see, hobbies to try. Tom's needs, Sarah's wants, Nate's whims. No more. This was George Harris's time. The phone rang. Tom. I declined. I had better things to do. 2 weeks passed quietly. I'd expected Tom and Sarah to push back, but after Sarah's visit, silence. Only Lily visited twice. We avoided family drama. Tuesday morning was sunny. I sipped coffee on the porch, browsing a travel catalog. The fishing trip with Clara was set, but why not more? I'd only seen Europe in books. Margaret dreamed of Ireland, her ancestors' home. We'd saved for it, but her illness stopped us. I studied photos of Dublin, Galway, Cork. Imagining myself there, camera in hand. No rush to fix Tom's latest crisis. The doorbell rang. Clara stood there, wicker basket in hand. Morning. Adventurer. She grinned, stepping inside, brought bagels from that new bakery, and hot gossip. I laughed. Let her in. What's better than that? We sat on the porch. Clara poured coffee from a thermos, handed me a warm bagel. So, she bit into hers. How's your free life going? Strange, I admitted. I wake up thinking I forgot something. Then realize I only need to care for me? Clara nodded. That's normal. You've lived for them too long. Your body's not used to no stress. She paused. More serious. Saw Sarah at the store yesterday. Buying cheap pasta, no gourmet stuff she loves. I raised an eyebrow. Really, how'd she look? Really? Not her usual polish. Clara shrugged. Hair messy, plain clothes, didn't see me. I didn't say hi. I tried picturing Sarah without her gloss. Hard to do. She always looked magazine-ready. Guess they're cutting back, I mused. As they should, Clara said firmly. George, they've milked you dry. Especially Sarah. She never valued your generosity. I sighed. I know, it's just odd. Thinking they might struggle. Tom's never saved a dime. Time he learned. Clara cut in. At his age, he should stand on his own. Not lean on his dad? I smiled at her bluntness. Clara never sugarcoated. It's why we'd been friends so long. She was real in a world of pretense. Speaking of your new life. She nodded at the catalog. What's this? Thinking about Ireland? I slid it over. Margaret wanted to show me Dublin. Clara beamed. Love it when maybe fall. I shrugged. Need to plan. Why wait? Clara flipped pages. May's great for Ireland. Not too warm. Good for walking. I thought, what held me back before? It was always family, kids, Tom's crises, saving cash for them, or... Now, nothing stopped me. You're right. I grinned. Why not? I'll call the agency today. Clara nodded. That's the spirit. And you know, I could join you. Ireland's on my list. We spent the morning plotting routes. Sights to see. For the first time, I felt excited. Something new waited. I called the travel agency after Clara left, booked a consultation. Then opened an old atlas Margaret gave me, studied Ireland's map, dreaming of those green hills. The doorbell rang. I opened it. Nate, disheveled, shirt wrinkled, eyes shadowed. Grandpa. He shifted awkwardly. Can I come in? I stepped aside. He entered, sat on the couch, rubbing his hands nervously. Tea, I offered. No, thanks. He shook his head. Grandpa. I need help. I sat across from him. Calm. What kind? Nate money. His voice wavered. My card's blocked, bank's after me, can't pay rent, or my car. I looked at my grandson. A grown man, looking lost. Nate was spoiled. By Tom. Sarah? Me? Never had to earn much. How much do you owe? I asked evenly. $8 grand. He avoided my eyes. Got carried away with the card last few months. What'd you spend it on? I pressed. He shrugged. Stuff. New phone. Trip with friends? Some parties? I waited. He looked up. Grandpa. I know I haven't been around much. Haven't called. But I love you. Really, please help me. I'll pay you back. I studied him. Nate had his mom's charm, used when he wanted something. Nate, I said, you're 22. 2 years at that insurance job. Why can't you manage your money? He shrugged. Never thought about it. Always had you. Or mom and dad. Exactly. I nodded. Someone always bailed you out. But you can't live like that forever. I know, he said eagerly. I'll learn. Just help me this once. I'll get another job. Save up. No, Nate, I'm not giving you money. His jaw dropped. He hadn't expected that. But Grandpa, what do I do? What adults do? I said, find solutions. Talk to the bank. Get extra work. Cut spending. He stared, like I'd spoken another language. It's so hard. Life's hard. I shrugged. Especially when you own your choices. He stood, emotions flashing. Shock, resentment, anger, So you're abandoning me after saying you love me, I love you? Nate? I stayed calm. That's why I won't feed your reliance on my money. That's not love, that's harm. You're just punishing us, he shouted. For some fight with Dad, I saw Sarah in his outburst. Same rage at being told no? Nate, sit, I said firmly. I said, surprisingly. He did, dropping onto the couch. I'm not punishing anyone. I've stopped being your family's bank. Stopped buying love that should be free. I paused. Let it sink in. Think. When did you last visit just to hang out, not to ask for cash, care about my life, my feelings? Nate looked away. You can't recall. I sighed. That's the issue. Our bond's been a transaction. I pay, you act like you care. That's not family. It's business. Not true. He shook his head. We care, do you? I raised an eyebrow. Name one selfless thing you've done for me this year. Nate froze, mind racing, searching for a call, a visit, a gift without strings. I came to your birthday, he mumbled. Yes. For 30 minutes. No gift. Left fast for friends. He bowed his head. I didn't mean to. I didn't think. Exactly. Nate. You didn't think about me. I softened. I'm not mad. I'm just done with this unhealthy pattern. We sat quietly. Nate slumped. Defeated. I saw the boy I taught to ride a bike. Stubborn but fragile. Look, I leaned in. I won't give money, but I can offer something else. He glanced up. What my friend Henry Brooks needs a part-time assistant. Filing, phones, simple stuff, won't fix everything. But it's extra cash. I can talk to him. Nate blinked. You'd do that? After what I said? You're my grandson. I love you. But my love won't come as checks anymore. He thought, nodded slowly. Okay, I'll try it. Thanks, Grandpa. When Nate left, I felt mixed, sad, satisfied. Maybe this was a step to a real bond, or another ploy. Time would tell. That evening, Lily came, calm, collected. Unlike Nate, I saw Nate leaving. She said helping with dinner. He was quiet. We talked money and responsibility. I chopped carrots. Not sure he took it well. Lily stirred sauce. Good for him to grow up? Nate's had it too easy. I glanced at her. She and Nate were close in age, but worlds apart. Lily was independent, mature. How's home? I asked carefully. She sighed. Not great. Mom and Dad fight constantly. Mom blames Dad for not convincing you to keep paying. Dad says she ruined it with her attitude. I'm sorry you're caught in that. I touched her shoulder. It's fine. She gave a weak smile. I knew their marriage wasn't healthy. Together for status, comfort. When that's threatened, she trailed off. I nodded. Margaret called Tom and Sarah's marriage odd. My giving cushioned it. Now, cracks showed. They're selling Mom's SUV, Lily said. Setting plates. The one you funded last year, looking to refinance the mortgage? I stayed quiet. Part of me felt guilty. I didn't want Tom to suffer. But he needed this lesson. You know, Grandpa. Lily sat. I support your choice. I looked at her. Surprised. You do, yes. I've seen them use you. Especially Mom. I told Dad. He made excuses. Thanks. Lily, that means a lot. I just want you happy. She took my hand. You've cared for us forever. Time to care for you. We ate, chatted about her job, my Ireland plans, books we'd read, a normal talk. No asks, no tension. What family should be. As Lily left, she hugged me tight. I'll always be here. Grandpa, no matter what happens with them. I know, sweetheart. I touched her cheek. I'm here for you too. Because I want to. After she left, I sat, thinking about family's twists. Strange that my granddaughter was the most understanding. Maybe that was it. Passing on values, love, care. The phone rang. Tom. I hesitated. Answered. Yes. Tom, Dad, his voice was strained. We need to talk tomorrow, and as a family. About this mess. How to fix it, I sighed. Tom, I told you and Sarah, my decision's final. Dad, please, he pleaded. Hear us out. We'll compromise. I paused. Part of me wanted to shut it down. But another part knew cutting Tom off completely wouldn't sit right. Okay. Tomorrow. 3 Angro. My place. Thanks. Dad. His relief was clear. We'll all be there. I hung up. Looked out at the evening sky. Pink and gold. Tomorrow's meeting loomed. Another family showdown. But this time, I had my rules. I woke early, though the meeting wasn't until 3 Andro. I felt tense despite my calm facade. Something said today would differ from Tom and Sarah's past pushes. To distract myself, I worked in the garage. Tinkering with an old chair always soothed me. By noon, I'd sanded it, showered, made a light lunch. Plenty of time to prepare. At 300 sharp, the doorbell rang. I breathed deep, opened it. Tom stood alone. Dad. He nodded. Stepping in. Others are coming soon. Wanted to talk first. I led him to the living room. He looked worn, shirt creased, eyes tired. Dad. He sat across from me. Tonight wasn't my idea. Sarah pushed for it. I raised an eyebrow. What's happening? Tom, he looked down. Sarah thinks we need strong action to make you see how your choice hurts us all. My stomach tightened. What action car engine sounded? Multiple cars! I looked out. 3 vehicles in my driveway. Sarah stepped out of one, polished, determined. Behind her, Nate and Lily. The other cars held vaguely familiar faces. Sarah's parents, maybe. Her brother, friends. Tom, I turned. What is this? He looked uneasy. Sarah thought a big family meeting would work better with everyone involved. Everyone I snapped. Your wife brought strangers to my house for our family fight. Before he could answer, the doorbell blared. I opened it slowly. Anger rising. Cold and focused. Sarah stood there, smiling oddly. George, good afternoon. Her voice was loud, for the crowd behind her. We're here to discuss this as a family. I scanned the group. 10 people, faces mixed with unease and curiosity. Sarah, I said firmly, I didn't invite these people. But they're family. She waved dramatically. Don't families support each other? I saw Lily off to the side. Embarrassed. Nate stood by his mom, mimicking her stance. My parents, Sarah pointed to an older couple. My brother Mark, his wife, my sister Jane, her husband. They're worried about this. We're one big family, right? I met her eyes. No, Sarah, we're not. This is my house. I choose who enters. I'm only letting you, Tom, and the kids in. The rest leave. Sarah stepped forward. Smile strained. George, don't be rude. They came far. Your call, not mine. I stood firm. They go, or no talk. A tense pause. Sarah's mind raced. Finally, she turned to her group. We'll keep this private. Wait in the cars or walk around. We won't be long. Her family shuffled off, exchanging looks. Her father, tall and stern, nodded. Sure, dear. We'll be nearby. I watched them disperse. Let Sarah, Nate, and Lily in. When the door shut, I faced them. So, my voice was calm, though I burned inside. Who's explaining this circus? Sarah spoke first. George, Your decision to cut funding doesn't just hit Tom and me. It affects our whole family. My parents counted on us for their care home. Tom's brother needs help. He's jobless. Tom's brother, I cut in. You mean Greg, who I haven't seen in 6 years because you forgot to invite him. Tom looked lost. Sarah pressed on. Point is, George, your selfish choice started a chain reaction. Everyone suffers, including your grandkids. Nate nodded. Grandpa, I'm getting evicted. Can't pay rent. Move back with your parents for now. I said, that's the issue. Sarah cried. We're barely scraping by. The bank's threatening foreclosure by next week. I looked at Lily, quietly standing aside. And you, Lily, here for money too? She shook her head. No, Grandpa, I'm here so they don't speak for me. I respect your choice. Sarah shot her a glare. Continued. George, we'll compromise. We know we hurt you. Tom's text was wrong. We're all paying for it. It's not the text. I shook my head. It was the last straw. Years of neglect, disrespect, using me. Using Sarah threw up her hands. We're families help each other. Funny you mentioned that, only when money's involved, I said coolly. Where was family when I spent holidays alone? Sick. With no one bringing medicine on Margaret's death anniversary. With no calls, silence. Tom looked down. Nate fidgeted. Sarah stayed composed. We're busy. George, jobs, duties. I was busy too. I cut in. But I made time. Money. Put your needs first. How'd you repay me? I looked at each. Tom. When did you last ask how I felt? Genuinely, he stayed silent. Nate? When'd you visit without wanting cash? He licked his lips. Said nothing. Sarah. I turned to her. Name one kind thing you've done for me. Ever? She opened her mouth, faltered. See, I sighed. You can't, because there's nothing. Just deals. I give. You take. Sarah snapped back. George, this is manipulation, huh? Guilt-tripping us to dodge the real issue. What's that? I asked. Curious. You're wrecking our family with your selfishness, she shouted. We could lose the house, Nate's apartment, my parents' care home. My job to provide for you all? I shook my head. Tom's 55, Nate's 22. You're a thriving realtor. Why depend on me because you always helped Tom burst out? We relied on you. Dad? Exactly. I nodded. You thought it was your right, not my choice. When I stopped, you didn't ask why. You demanded it go back. I walked to the window. Sarah's family still lingered outside. Typical of her. Making a show to shame me. Sad thing is, I turned back. You don't get the problem. You think I'm just mad about a text, a whim to fix with words or fake family unity? It's not. I saw the truth. I wasn't a dad, a granddad, a father-in-law. I was a bank, a cash source. When it dried up, you suddenly cared about family. Sarah stepped closer, face twisted. You ungrateful, selfish old man, she hissed. After all we've done, what have you done? Sarah, I asked calmly. Tell us. She froze, lips tight. Nothing. I answered. You tolerated me for my money, mocked my clothes, my home, my ways. You turned Tom and Nate against me. Now you're shocked I'm done. I faced Tom. Son, I've loved you since your first breath. I will till my last. But I'm out of this toxic cycle. I won't fund your life. Ignore disrespect. Tom looked broken. Dad, what do you want us to beg? No. I want you to grow up, own your lives, respect yourself and me. Sarah scoffed. Nice speech, George. Touching. Now, reality. We need money. Now. No, I said. Not now, not ever. You can't, she yelled. We're your family. Family's not just a name. I shook my head. It's care, respect, things I haven't had from you in years. I turned to Nate and Lily, going, kids, I love you. My door's open and not for money, for real connection, if you want it. Lily nodded, tears in her eyes. Nate looked away. Now, I straightened. I'm asking you to leave. This is done. Sarah gaped. You're kicking us out. I'm asking you to go, I repeated. And take your entourage. Sarah grabbed her purse. You'll regret this. George, alone. You'll remember today. Tom hesitated. Dad, go, Tom. I nudged him to the door. Think on what I said. When you're ready for a real talk. Not about cash. I'm here. He nodded. Left slowly. Nate followed, silent. Lily stayed a moment. Hugged me. I'll call tomorrow. Grandpa. She whispered. I'll be waiting. Dear. I touched her cheek. The door closed. I sank into a chair. Sadness and relief mixed. Voices rose outside. Sarah likely spinning her tale. I didn't care. I'd said my piece. The phone rang. Clara. George, I saw a crowd at your gate. What's up, long story? I sighed. Sarah staged a family summit. Oh, wow. Clara laughed. How'd it go? As expected. Drama. Little insight. You okay need me over before... I'd have said no, not wanting to burden her. Now. Yes. Clara. I could use a friend. Be there in 15. With that wine we liked? I smiled. Hanging up? Today hurt. But it was a step to a new life, where I came first. 6 months later, the Irish sun warmed my face. I sat at a pub's outdoor table, sipping a rich stout. Clara scribbled in her travel journal beside me. Can't believe we're here, I said, gazing at rolling green hills. Margaret would be thrilled. She'd be proud. Clara raised her glass. To the new George. I clinked her glass, smiling. Much had changed. Tom and Sarah tried swaying me after that meeting. Threats of lawsuits. Fizzled after I lawyered up. Tom's surprise visit with flowers. An apology. Then another money ask. I held firm. Their efforts faded. Stopped. Lily told me they sold the house. Moved to a small apartment. Sarah took a second job. Tom started managing their budget. Nate, surprisingly, took Henry's assistant job. Found his footing in law. We met a few times, awkward at first, but growing honest. No cash requests. Lily stayed close. Weekly calls, visits, sharing her life. She pushed me to take this Ireland trip. What are you thinking? Clara asked, snapping me back. How my life's shifted these 6 months. I sipped my stout. Who'd have thought at 70 I'd start fresh? Clara laughed. You were always strong, George. You just let it out. I nodded, watching the sun set. Gold over the hills. Clara was right, and I'd given my strength to others. Tom, his family. Only now, I claimed it for me. My phone buzzed. A text from Lily. A photo of her new place. Grandpa. Can't wait for you to see it. Hope Ireland's amazing. I smiled, replied with a shot of the hills. This tie with Lily was precious, built on real care, not money. Back at our inn. I sat on the balcony, book in hand. Clara chatted with her son next door. Her laughter drifted through. I'd feared loneliness my whole life, clung to toxic ties to avoid it, yet letting go brought freedom, joy. The people left Lily, Clara. Old friends I'd reconnected with were here for true reasons. Love, respect, real interest. Sarah's last words echoed. You'll regret being alone, but I wasn't. I was with myself, truly, for the first time. Tomorrow, Clara and I would tour a local brewery, visit a small museum. No rush, no duties, just what brought us joy. This was my life now, since that step 6 months ago. A life where I was the lead. Not a side role. I breathed the cool Irish air. Margaret would be happy. She always said I deserved more. It took years. A hard wake-up. But I'd learned to love myself as I loved others. The greatest lesson. My phone buzzed. Tom. Before, I'd have answered instantly. Dropping everything now. I set it aside. His words could wait. This was my time. I looked at the starry sky, smiled. All 165 receipts, all the years of sacrifice. Behind me, ahead was freedom. To be me. No expectations, no demands. The most beautiful freedom I'd ever known. If you like this story, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts in the comments. To hear the next story, click the box on the left. Thank you for listening.